Hi guys, welcome to Threads Podcast, Life Unfiltered. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are here in the downstairs studio with our new table, thanks to GR Rideshare Adventures.
Yes, indeed.
And it's Ben and I tonight, so we're just going to kind of do our regular episode and then kind of go from there.
Is there such a thing as a regular episode?
Yeah, there's not. You're right.
But no, it's been fun. Last week we had Megan that was here with us, and super deep, super heavy episode. How'd you feel about that one?
You know, it was okay. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where I want the podcast to be deep and thoughtful, but it got little Christianese.
Yes, it did. And that's okay. I don't think that happened. I think the last time that happened was probably with Brandy.
Yeah.
So, again, I think we should get them two to sit down together.
Yeah, I think them two breaking down current events would be
That'd
hilarious.
Oh, yeah. We could just go sit in the corner and
right.
eat popcorn or something.
Like the Michael Jackson gif.
Yes. So, well, Threads Podcast is an opportunity for Jason and I to break down what's happening in our lives, to examine some current events. And the whole goal behind all of this is to just put on display what authentic friendship, relationship can look like. We really strive to be honest and open and transparent with each other throughout the week. And then we sit down to record. Sometimes it's just us. Sometimes we've got a guest. And it's just kind of a reflection of, who we are and how we do life together. And it's been a lot of fun. We've been at this for over a year now.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe.
Episode 47.
Yeah, we should do something special for episode 50.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but,
Bring every guest we've had on, and they each get 15 minutes.
Nice.
Rotate them out.
There you go.
Next.
So, tonight we are just going to spend some time chatting. We've got our tried and true format that we use when just the two of us sit down. We kind of give a personal update and talk about, what's happening in our lives. We have a God question, which we're bringing back. And we also give an update on therapy. Both of us are very firm believers in therapy, and it's done a lot of good for both of us. It took some ass kicking on my part to go back and find a counselor. I just said it. Therapist.
You know what? I say give up. Don't even try.
I always catch myself.
I know.
So I found one that it's been really good. So we'll talk more about that later. We'll give some talk to a God question. It won't be as in depth as last time we were in this room. We've got some reviews that we're going to touch base on, and you can help us out with those. And then we'll jump into current events and just some fun stuff towards the end as well. So that's kind of the direction that we're headed tonight. And the whole goal here is just real, honest, authentic communication. We feel that if we can do that between us, then hopefully we can show that to our audience and they can implement that in their own lives. It's kind of the thought process behind why we do this.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump right into the personal update. That was a great transition, but I'm supposed to transition, not you. So
correct.
You just said the yep, and I was like, oh, wait, that's my job now.
It's your cue.
That was a real smooth transition.
No tech talk, please.
So, personal update. Life in the Crocker family has been a bit adventurous, I think I would say.
I would say it would be more adventurous because it's always adventurous, but you've had another level of adventure.
Yeah. So if our family life was characterized by weather reports, I would say we've had a bit of everything. We've had sunshine, we've had tsunamis, we've had earthquakes, and everything in between in the last couple of weeks. Again, my wife brought up a really good point on a previous episode that we did that we want our kids' stories to be their stories to tell. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I will just say that our daughter Miracle, who came to us as an 8-year-old, came into our family at age 8. She is going on 11 now, and 3 years in, she's starting to realize that she's safe and that we're not going anywhere, but there's still questions in her mind, and she wonders, if I do this, will they still love me? And so she's testing. And man, it's testing. And it's been pretty brutal some days, but the good news is we have an incredible support system. She has an in-home therapist that comes to our home, which is awesome, and spends an hour or two with her. And that therapist is now working with her school, and she's actually going to see Miracle at school during the day.
So how does that work with insurance?
We don't have to worry about it because when you adopt from the state, from foster care,
that's covered.
It's covered.
Oh, that's sweet.
So, yeah, people aren't just going to do this out of the goodness of their heart. I mean, they will. We would have. But the state says we will provide this insurance for them.
And how long does that last?
Till they're 18.
Oh,
so
amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And then they do also offer, I don't know if it's full tuition or what, but if Miracle gets to college age and decides that she wants to go to college, I think almost all of it will be paid for. So
that's all that's paid by our tax dollars?
Yep, it is.
Hey, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a thing I can get behind.
I know. It's, the state has definitely built as good of a system as they can. It's not as robust as we would hope, because in order to get these services, we had to get to a breaking point where we were beyond our wits' end.
Okay.
We were just so done. We had to, just kind of throw our hands up and say, we need help. It wasn't clicking. Things weren't happening before until things got really bad.
So, okay. So those aren't just given to you. You kind of have to.
No, those things they come, the therapist stuff, that is not standard.
Okay.
You have to go through the right hoops to get that level of service. But the college stuff and the insurance stuff, that's pretty standard. But beyond that, the actual day-to-day arrangements with the therapist, you really got to advocate for yourself and for your kid to get that level. But I'm glad that we did.
Yeah.
So that's been going on. And then I have so many hats that I'm wearing in life right now. It's just been a crazy season. So I'm coordinating the soccer program for our school district, the youth. It's the recreational program.
Yeah, when are you going to quit that?
Probably after this school year, because Stefan's going to be done with it and he'll move into the high school level.
And then you'll start coaching high school?
I don't coach.
Or you know what I mean.
Coordinate. Maybe. But
don't.
I think they already have that taken care of.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So usually that's a lot of fun and I enjoy every minute of it. But it's been difficult this season. We've come under the school district, and with that comes a lot of changes in how we operate. I thought it was going to be smooth sailing, but there's been parts of it that have been anything but smooth. So that takes my time, more time than it should, to deal with all of that. And then, of course, I'm involved in things at my church, and a lot of programs are kicking into high gear because it's the fall season, and this is when people start, coming back from their vacations over the summer and whatnot and getting plugged back in, which is exciting, but it just makes the workload that much more. So, and then working with Megan on the UTM board, there's just so many things, so many hats that I'm wearing. And I get to the end of the day sometimes and I'm like, something's got to give.
Yeah.
But what? I don't know.
Right. That sounds like a lot.
It has been. And I don't know what to do about it other than give something up, but I don't know what to give up. So.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's my quandary.
Yeah, for me, it's, gosh, I don't remember the last time we did an update between you and I, but
right?
Kind of some things going on. Our buddy Gabe, I kind of had, we had talked a lot and then we stopped talking. Not that we were mad at each other or anything, but I had saw a lot of stuff that he was dealing with on the groups that we're in. So I sent him a 2-minute message and he was kind of shocked by that. And come to find out, he was frustrated with me because a while back I had asked him about Amazon routes,
Yeah.
just out of the blue, and then didn't talk to him again after that. So he kind of felt a little used on that, and it's one of these things I kind of struggle with Megan and other people too, is that you definitely need to let me know if I've done something, because to let it fester and build, what's the word? Resentment is just, it doesn't work for anyone. Because no, he didn't come out and get all super pissed about it, but he did finally say something. I was like, oh, I was like taken aback by it. So it was fine. It was just something that that wasn't my intent, just to use them. I've never used my friends that way, but
that's how he felt.
That's how he felt.
Yeah.
So, what else?
He's got a lot going on in his life that would.
I know.
I can totally understand why he would twist it that way in his head.
Yeah. My message was just like, hey, man, I'm here for you. Like, whatever you need, you let me know.
Yeah.
I mean, just because we don't talk every day, just like you, wearing many hats, I'm still available to help. I'm still, tuned into you and the discussions that are going on. Even though I don't talk a lot in those groups, I'm still kind of monitoring things and stuff. So
you're the lurking troll.
The lurker. But otherwise, if I start talking, I talk way too much. So
You're kind of an all or nothing with those groups.
Yeah, I am. Well, when I'm working, I'm all in, just running my mouth. But when I'm not, I don't really chime in much, because I don't really know this, a lot going on with that. So, and then with Megan, I just feel like I've been failing with her lately, just kind of missing cues and things like that. And so, I mean, things are good, I guess. I mean, not, we're having our issues of connection and those kind of things, but nothing like crazy.
Yeah.
But just been feeling shitty about that. And then, I put helplessness with you a little bit. Just going through I can't really relate to what's going on, but I also feel a little helpless on how I can help you and those kind of things. People always say, like, just let me know, but I mean, it's whatever. Like, everyone says that, but I truly do mean that. But, same with like Gabe, I often wonder if I should just do something, but I also don't want to give unsolicited advice, because I know I've really worked on that.
You have.
For you, you've kind of called me to the table with that, and it's good. It's good for me, and I've worked on it in other places in life. But just know that I'm thinking about you and praying about you and Miracle. I just wish I could do something else.
So do I.
I'm a fixer.
I could do something. I am a fixer too.
Yeah, I mean, guys naturally, I think, are fixers, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, what can I do?
It's the most, I don't know, helpless is a good word. I just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
When she's having her moments, we just kind of sit with her through it, hold her back, whatever we need to do. And then the good thing is she is starting to come back to reality faster. So it's not like these moments last super long like they used to.
Yeah.
And she's been being safe. Before, she would just take off walking away from the house, not telling us where she's going or things like that. And it's just like, okay, I guess I'm going to hop in my car and follow you.
Yeah.
So thankfully that hasn't been happening as much, but yeah, it's challenging. And again, my daughter, we adopted her from foster care. So she had 8 years of her life where she was not given consistently what she needed to help her brain develop and form patterns of handling stress. So in stressful situations, she never learned how to properly react. So it's either fight or flight when she's in a stressful moment. And the work we're doing now is reprogramming, rewiring the brain, and it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I think as long as you're doing the things like you're supposed to, going to therapy and doing the thing, I think eventually it'll fade out. Yep. I mean, it will.
I mean, I look at my son. We've been through a lot of this with him too. Maybe not to this extent or this intensity level, but it's not like it's completely foreign to us. And you're right. 10 years later, he's come around quite a bit as well. So, it's just, it is what it is. It's hard to, it's hard work, but super worth it. Like, we are giving both of our kids, we adopted them, we are giving them a second chance at a life that they would have never had otherwise.
Yeah.
And that, at the end of the day, just seeing the progress they make, even if it's small progress, it's very rewarding and, kind of gives me the hope I need to keep doing it every day.
Yeah, I hope. I know you do take lots of pictures of your kids, and one thing that Facebook's great with is putting that 1 year ago or 2 years ago, which I like, because then you kind of look back and you can reflect and say, man, remember how it was like a year ago? Like, it was horrible, but now it's better. So it kind of gives you this gratitude moment and stuff. So one other thing we do, and we used to put this at the end, but I peer pressured Ben to put it in the middle, is one flub, failure, mistake, where you're just like, man alive, what the heck? And I know I talked about two of them in my recap, but this, I actually have another one. So, but I'll jump in since you just shared or wrapped up. But yeah, I don't know if I want to share that. I don't know if they're listening up there. Well, I'll just do it anyway. So our friends had to put their dog down, and she had come over and talked Thursday night, and she was kind of telling me the process, and it was kind of cold. The way we did it, it was, the vet came out to our house, and it was this big thing, and it was just better for everyone around, whatever. And I was kind of taken aback, and I think I said, oh, that's, wow. You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of judging the way she was doing it. And at the moment, I didn't really feel about it, but then I reflected on it later, and I was like, oh, that was bad. Well, and then she kind of did it the way I suggested instead of the way she did. So then I felt really bad. I actually sent her a voice message yesterday at 7, and she hasn't responded. So I'm sure it's not intentional. I'm sure a lot of people, like, they read it or they listen to it and then they forget about it. Sure. But I felt really bad that I kind of peer pressured her into doing it the way we did it, because we thought it was more emotionally okay for us. But yeah, that was not good. And hopefully that will get resolved. Hopefully she'll respond.
So was that unsolicited advice?
I don't know. They weren't asking for
Sure.
it. They just explained how they were going to do it, and it honestly felt a little cold to me. But I don't know. Everyone processes those kind of things different. Right. But I was taken aback to the point of where I was like, oh, like my surprise face on. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that seems a little cold. I mean, it's cool, but like that's not how I would do it.
Speaking of cold, is your air seriously still on?
Yeah, we haven't turned it off yet.
Oh my gosh.
It is chilly outside. It is. No. Well, we do it a lot for allergies too.
Yeah.
To keep all the stuff out. But yeah, got to keep it cold down here, man. This computer uses a lot of stuff.
Seriously.
So what about you? I read what you wrote, but I don't know what that is.
I don't want to give too many details out of respect for the person, but one of the things that I'm involved with, I won't say which one, but I had to let a volunteer go earlier in the year, and this person was having a lot of significant family issues to the point that there were, there was like CPS was investigating the parents, and it was pretty serious stuff.
Oh, boy.
Nothing came from it, which is the good news. However, I kind of let them go. I said what I needed to say. I talked with my supervisor and made sure I was in the right in doing it the way that I did. Mm-hmm. And then I just didn't talk to her. Like, I just kind of cut her off from all communication. And that kind of blew up in my face on Friday. I found out that she was she had gone to inpatient mental health treatment for a number of days, and just all this crazy stuff. And she wasn't able to work or leave her house. Now, I know that I didn't do that to her. However, I added flame to the fire. I poured gas on the fire that was already started.
Right.
And I was telling my wife, I was like, I feel really bad, but then at the same time I don't, because she had to hit rock bottom, and it was me who kind of pushed her to hit rock bottom by making the decision that I did. But I will say that I did fail her because I did not follow up or check in. And this is a family that, when Stefan was being ridiculous and doing his stuff, like, she was checking on me, and her kids would send encouraging notes to Stefan, but I didn't return the favor. So when she was going through her darkest moment, I kind of said, peace out.
Yeah, we're done.
You can't volunteer anymore. And then I left it at that. So that was a major flub on my part. So I just called her up and said, I really dropped the ball on a personal level. I said, I'm not going to apologize for the things that I did, from the organization perspective.
Right.
All of that needed to happen. And I had support from my superiors in what I did. I said, but that being said, personally, I totally dropped the ball. And you're right, I didn't say anything to you. I didn't check in with you. And I just kind of let you wallow. And I didn't have the decency to check in and make sure you're okay. So that was a tough conversation. But in the end, she tearfully told me she accepted my apology and offered forgiveness to me. So that was good.
So when you ended the volunteer thing, did you know all that was going on in her life?
I knew a snippet of it.
Okay.
But I didn't know the full picture. And here's the thing. I was friends with her on Facebook, and I said was intentionally. So we're Facebook friends, and she was connected to other people in the program as well. And she posted some pretty explicit messages alluding to what was happening. And I showed that to the supervisor, and I was just like, I don't think I can, in good conscience, have her involved in this position right now if other parents are seeing this.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was a tough call, but it had to happen.
Well, at least you followed up and tried to fix, what you thought you failed on. So it's kind of like, yeah, you flubbed, but you fixed it.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't even know it was a flub until Friday. Like, I just didn't give it much thought. And then there was a separate issue that came up, and we were emailing back and forth, and finally I was like, I got to get away from this keyboard. Something's not clicking here. So I just called her and said, can we talk? And then it all came out, and I was like, ooh, you are so right.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, we never know, like, in the world, when you're around people, you never know how you're going to affect them or what's going on with them. I mean, as much as I road rage all the time, and when I say road rage, not like physically acted out, but like what the? Come on, or put the arms up, like, seriously?
Yeah.
You never know what's going on in their life. Doesn't mean they have a right to do what they did, but you kind of always got to take a pause and say, ooh, maybe they're having a bad day, so I'm just going to let it go and be the bigger person. But
yep. So
therapy update. I don't really have much. I'm actually seeing my therapist on Tuesday. I should have talked to Meg about this because we had a together session last time, and there was things that I was going to work on. I was like, maybe I need to see you every 2 weeks, and not to say I'm not perfect or anything, that I just can't remember from week to week of what I need to work on, but it's fine. I'm ready to kind of. Gosh, now I'm drawing a blank. I should have let you go first, but then I'm focusing on you, and then I probably would remember. But just kind of just working on some personal things in regards to how I react to different things, from Megan and stuff like that. And so I know there's something else there, and I'll circle back maybe and explain it. But
I was going to say, that was a pretty vague explanation there.
Yeah, I know. I kicked myself. I should have asked Megan, what did we talk about again that I was going to work on? Because and it's not like she's telling me what to work on, but sometimes things come up when we're together and be like, oh, yeah, I really need to buckle down. So while I had taken a break, like gone once a month just to kind of whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll message her while you're talking.
There you go. So I have been seeing my therapist weekly, which is a kind of a big shift for me. But it has been really good. And I don't feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like I've changed any, but my wife keeps saying it's been 4 weeks. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
So, but I feel like the relationship is building pretty well. And I'm excited to see how this style of therapy works in the long run.
I know you've been struggling with it, but I asked you, I was like, hey, are you feeling good when you leave there? And you're like, yes. I said, well, then keep on keeping on.
I feel like I go there and I kind of verbal vomit a little bit and I just kind of spill everything that's in my head. And I get up and walk out and it's kind of like, I'm not sure why, but it feels better to just have that off my chest.
Yeah.
So,
and you guys are digging into some deeper stuff, right?
We are.
Not just the acute, like what's going on currently.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you kind of start that way, but then it probably goes down a different rabbit hole. Or if he says, well, tell me about that a little bit more.
Exactly.
Yep.
He goes,
and I don't like it.
He goes digging. He knows the questions to ask in response to what I say. He not only that, but he's listening for patterns and he'll connect dots for me that I'm not necessarily seeing. And he'll be like, oh, so since you were a young child, this has been an issue for you. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, you just told me. And then he lists off the things I told him. I'm just like, dude, how do you do that?
Does he write stuff down?
He did in one session, but apparently I reacted poorly to it. I don't know. I don't remember giving any cues, but he said, based on your reaction when I was writing, I've decided I'm not going to do that in this session.
I'll tell you what, those therapists, they can see your body language and they know.
Yeah.
Like I was going to say, like Heather doesn't write. She'll remember stuff from like 3 months ago. And I'll be like, what the what?
Yeah,
you
seriously.
Know? And I mean, she's seeing people like after me, before me.
Yeah.
But she will look at my body language, like if Megan and I are in there, and I'm not noticing I'm doing it, but she's like, well, I'm noticing that you're kind of turned away from Megan. I'm like, crap.
That's awesome.
So maybe he saw your eye movements or you were like shifted in your seat when he was writing.
Yeah, because there would be these awkward breaks where he was just writing and catching up. And then since that session, he doesn't do that. So I imagine he's probably writing after I leave.
Yeah, or recording into. I'm sure Heather probably. For all I know, she records into it and listens. No, because she has people come. Maybe she listens to it in the morning because it's like back to back when I'm in there. So, anything else with that?
I have a link. I don't even know if we want to share it because the timing of this is kind of unfortunate. However, have you heard about the stuff going on at the state level with the counselors and therapists?
I have not. I've seen people posting about it, but I haven't been interested enough to click on it. And not that it's not interesting. I just, whatever. You know?
Being married to someone who is about to start her first actual paid position as a therapist, this kind of means a lot to me. Thankfully, it doesn't affect her, but there are a ton of people that this impacts. So what's going on in the state of Michigan right now is there's a bill that would essentially eliminate limited license professionals or LLPC. Basically, there's a class of counselor that this is affecting. And it's essentially saying that insurance companies will no longer cover these providers.
So it's people that don't really have a psychology degree, but because like my sister, that's what she does. She's a social worker, but has those credentials where she can work under somebody and still bill insurance.
Yes.
So that's what they're trying to take away?
Yes. The conflict arises when we look at Lara's proposed changes to the licensing requirements and the scope of practice that would inhibit LPC's right to practice. So they're essentially saying if you're an LPC, we're no longer going to provide insurance reimbursement for your services.
Okay.
So if you look at that, there is, there's just a ton of people that this would impact. Not only the thousands of providers, but all of their clients that are seeking, they're making progress in their mental health. That's just going to come to a screeching halt if this bill stops. And that's just ridiculous.
Well, you would think the insurance would want to do that because they're making money off of it.
Right.
I mean, yeah, of all, let's say it's 10,000 people in the Michigan patients. Yeah, they're all going to find other therapists, but that's just going to put the load of work on all these therapists. I mean, it's kind of like nice to have extra people around that can help people with mental health. So,
yeah.
So what is the progress of the bill itself? Is it, I don't know.
Apparently it's going up for vote this week, which is why I say I don't know if there's really much merit in inviting people to send letters or whatever.
But it's always good to make people aware of it.
Yeah. So it passed through the committee level on September 19, and now it's going to the House of Representatives.
And then it's got to go to the Senate, right?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm out of high school, so I don't know how
Right?
the judicial or the
So that it's definitely concerning to me, and I have friends that are LPCs, and their livelihood is at stake.
Yeah.
So I'm just really hopeful that something can be done to negotiate this.
Now, this doesn't affect Andy?
Nope, because she has a different degree. She has a MSW.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's what my sister has too.
Okay.
A master's in social work.
Yep.
Okay, so it's actually someone. I didn't even know that they could practice even if they didn't have a master's.
I think they need a master's, but it's not a.
It's a specific one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's different than the MSW.
Yeah, I know I'm throwing a ton of questions at you that you probably don't know all of, but yeah, that sucks.
So yeah, so that definitely comes to mind. And our friend Joe, I should say my friend Joe, the one the super fan, the turtle guy.
Yeah.
He messaged me today and was like, "You might want to bring this up to your audience." And I was like, "Yeah, there's probably merit in doing that, but again, the timing isn't great. But at least we can raise awareness."
I mean, the timing's fine. I mean, if it's only going to the House of Representatives, it's going to take a while for all that. I mean, it'll probably be spring before anything gets done with about it. So
maybe in our show notes, we'll put a link to more information if you want to get involved in this. But, as two dudes who believe in the power of therapists and believe in mental health, I thought it was at least worth mentioning. So
yeah, thank you. So we're going to jump into the God question. Goal length, 10 minutes. So this is something that I definitely feel is important, and Ben's going to kind of explain what the question is, and then we're just kind of going to talk about those kind of things. So, or what we think about this quote or question.
Yeah. So when we do our normal formats, it's been a while since we included this segment, but I figured I'd dust it off and bring it back in. So I have a quote from Mark Clark. Couldn't tell you who he is. I just know he wrote a book called The Problem of God. And in all fairness, I Googled God question because I was looking for one and I just wasn't being super creative at the moment.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So, but after that Google search, I found this quote and it makes me want to read this book. So this is a book called The Problem of God. And one of the questions that I came across in a PDF file of study notes was this statement with a couple questions with it. So he writes, "The longer you're a Christian, the more you come to realize that faith requires skepticism. Faith requires skepticism. What have you recently been skeptical about in your faith? And do you tend to lean into your doubts or away from them?"
Well, I think that faith requires skepticism.
I almost feel like they're opposite.
Yeah, I disagree, because if you're a skeptic, then you're not really the faith is not there. I mean, right?
Well, what is faith, though?
I don't know. I look at it as like I'm always skeptical about my faith, and as the question: do you lean into your doubts or away from them? I mean, if I lean away from them, then I probably grow closer to my faith. But if I lean into them, then I don't. So I am always skeptical about faith. It's just like I'm such a this is like, I'm sure I've said this a million times. I'm such a tangible person. So when I want to see a miracle, like we read all this stuff in the Bible, like all these miracles, like I want to see it. I want to see something great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You always see those movies like, come on, God, show me something great, and sometimes it happens, of course, but I don't know. I don't understand why faith requires, I don't know. I'd like to know more about that statement.
Yeah.
Was there any more, or he just says it or does he break it down in the book a little bit?
He probably breaks it down. I was looking at the Cliff Notes.
Oh,
version,
the Cliff Notes. Yeah. That's okay.
But there's a Bible verse in James. I believe it's James. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
James gets brought up on every
Somehow it does.
What is up with the book of James? Like,
so much good in there.
Megan brought it up. You bring it up all the time. I mean, I couldn't tell you about what's in it, even though I went to Christian school.
Now that I think about it, I don't even think it's James. I was probably thinking of James because it was on the last podcast.
I think maybe people just say James because apparently it's a good book of the Bible.
Yeah. I think everybody should read it at least once. It's good stuff. But somewhere in Scripture, it says that faith is the evidence of things unseen. And so I think there is some skepticism required, because if something is unseen, of course you're going to doubt it.
Right.
Of course you're going to question if it's real. And I think those questions, if handled appropriately, can lead you closer to what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what God says about that kind of stuff, because, I mean, he wants us to believe in him wholeheartedly with 100% of our heart. But I wonder, does it talk about that skepticism? That's a tough one for me. Or, because you never, I think everything in life, you don't blindly, follow the president or a leader or whatever like that. There's always that like, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
And I think that's just human nature.
For sure.
I don't think God expects us to 100%. I mean, even Megan, where I feel like her faith is like right now is just kicking ass, that she's probably has some skepticism about things going on. So I think it's a natural thing, but I do struggle with that all the time.
Yeah. I find myself skeptical of whether Christianity as it is today is what it was actually meant to be when Christ was here.
No way.
Like, are we even close to what you were expecting?
I think we're in the stadium. We're in the ballpark, but I don't think, no way. Yeah. I can probably say 100% that's not what he thought of. But I mean, is it just how it, what needs to change then? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so this might sound like a wild tangent, but bear with me. So one of my favorite TV shows right now is This Is Us, and it has been for several years now. Phenomenal storyline. It follows the several generations of a family, and it does flashbacks, and then it jumps ahead, and sometimes it's hard to follow, but there's like this flow throughout all of it. And sometimes as I'm watching, you think about the original patriarch dude, the guy, Jack, in the show, and his wife. You sometimes wonder if down the road when their kids are having kids, it's probably similar. Like, those kids are probably like, is this close to what our ancestors, is this close to what Grandpa Jack did, whatever. But it's like every generation things kind of shift and change, but it still stays within the ballpark.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of that with Christianity. It's just been around for so many centuries and so many thousands of years. And sometimes I struggle with that. It's like, is this seriously? Are we close? Like, do we have a really good understanding of what the Bible says, or has some of this been lost in translation?
Well, yeah, it all depends on who's giving you that information, what church you're going to, what the pastor's saying, because you kind of follow along what they're saying. If they're blowing smoke. I mean, usually
Yeah.
you can catch that, but I think we're in the ballpark.
I think so too. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
I've read a couple of stories within the last few weeks, and one of them was they unearthed this art that was probably from. It was after Christ, obviously, but a long time ago.
Yeah.
And they unearthed this, and it was a visual storytelling of the miracle when Jesus fed the 5,000. And so there's like drawn into these stone tablets, Jesus feeding 5,000 people with bread and fish. And so it's like, oh, well, I think we did get that right. If that ancient tablet has it as
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
it's
that's
like,
pretty...
we're doing something right.
I mean, that's like, yeah. I mean, that if you can see the physical writing on a wall, then that's right.
So that kind of, I don't know, it kind of gave me the chills a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, okay. Well, I have a little bit more faith.
Yeah, because it's tangible, right? It's something you can say, someone wrote this down 1 billion years ago,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So Larry says that's Hebrews 11, 1 through 4.
Oh, thanks, Larry. Hebrews, James, I was like one book away.
Yeah, you're pretty close.
Yeah. So, go Larry.
That's our man.
So, but at the same time, if I have, and this is something I'm unearthing in therapy, if it's something that really makes me uncomfortable, I kind of grew up with the mentality of just sweep it under the rug. And Megan brought that up last week too on the podcast. And I have the tendency that if something is super bothersome or I don't get it or I have a big doubt and I don't want to express it, I just pretend it's not there, kind of bury my head in the sand. And that side of skepticism does no good.
Yeah.
That just leads me to a place where I'm not really dealing with things. I'm just kind of pushing them away.
Yeah, especially if it's major stuff. You
For
know what I
sure.
mean? Stuff that needs to be addressed. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, no one, it does not end well not being honest or sweeping it under the rug.
Yes. There's no real reward for doing that.
No. I mean, it might feel good in the moment because you're kind of pushing it away, but it's going to rear its head again.
Oh yeah, it usually does.
Right.
So
I'm going to share a review. It's I don't know who this is. It's West Michigan Justin, which makes me think it's
probably Justin
again.
Sladden, I
But
don't know.
he's already reviewed us, so maybe he made another account. But this is where I beg and plead for you guys to give us a review. It says, "Good guys and a great podcast. It really helps us, get an internet point, and we would like to grow this podcast to as many people as possible. So, if you go to Apple Podcasts, that's a good place to review us, and." Yeah, I think we're ranked. It's been interesting. We've been in the Apple changed their categories, and we've been like in the top 100 for relationships, and then we dropped down to 500, and I haven't checked. I go crazy looking at it, so they only send. You can get a daily email, but they only send us one once a week. I think on Fridays. So then I just wait to look then.
You can drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, it can drive you crazy. So. Unfortunately, I know people that don't have.
Oh, Megan just left a review.
Megan who?
Didn't
that's Megan from Irvine's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It really helps us move up the charts, and we'd love to be able to do this on a regular basis and maybe earn an income on it.
Yeah.
Like I always tell Ben, I'd love to be a full-time podcaster.
And I tell Jason, that's a cool idea. I just don't know if that's for me.
Right. It's not for everybody. I get it. I love talking. I can't stop talking.
But it would be kind of cool if, this was our workplace. We probably want to move the studio somewhere else.
Yeah, we'd probably want to rent a building, something. Yeah. I don't think I can work here and live here.
That'd be hard.
So I know everyone doesn't have an Apple phone, but you can still do it online. I think Ben usually posts something that is an easy way to give a review. So let's jump into current events. This always brings out some good chatter. So I'm going to do my first one, and this is so Ben and I's music tastes are completely different. I love Like, I love some pretty hardcore rap, and I like some heavy metal. Now, I will say, I probably won't play through this whole thing because it's pretty rough. But I just thought it was kind of cool. It's kind of a metal version of Baby Shark. So
Which is the most obnoxious song known to man.
So this one won't get caught in your head, but I'm probably not going to be able to get through more than 20 seconds of it. I don't think I've listened to the whole thing yet. So I'm going to play a little bit of it and see how long you guys can stand it. Now this is a little too hard for me. It's kind of a fun video.
Why are they dogs?
I don't know. You guys can't see the video, but so yeah.
Hi, Gabe.
I think we're just gonna stop right there. So I just thought it was kind of funny. I love people's creativity. I love when people remake stuff, especially the bands that I'm into. But that was pretty rough. But
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those songs where it's like, okay, it's kind of reminds me of Weird Al, where he kind of does the parodies. Obviously, not to heavy metal, but
yes.
So
Amish Paradise.
Yeah.
Such a good song.
So just so you know, as far as like my music, that's too hard for me. I mean, if you're screaming at me, I can barely tell what you're saying. I'm not interested.
Yeah. You know, I think maybe part of the reason why I have hearing loss is back in the day, I kind of liked that style of music.
Really?
I did. And I would crank it too. So.
Yeah, I know I have some hearing loss. But yeah, that was a little too hard for me. So.
Yeah.
This is Avery Thierry speaking. Thank you so much for listening to Threads Podcast, Life Unfiltered. Please rate, review, and subscribe to my dad's podcast. I hope you enjoy hearing future episodes. If you like what you're listening to, don't forget to listen to their other podcast, Dear Rideshare Adventures. Have a great day, Thread listeners.
I mean, everybody's probably heard of this. So on September 20, which is my wife's birthday, there was a big thing that exploded on Facebook, like this big rally. It started with a bunch of gamers, and then a Facebook event was made. And wow, essentially what happened, it's like I just got electrocuted or something. Ooh, short-circuited. So essentially what happened is they created this event on Facebook as a joke, a parody. Let's raid Area 51.
Right.
And it actually started getting traction, and thousands of people are saying they're going to show up. To
Millions.
Millions.
I mean, towards the end of the event.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is they kind of made an impromptu festival out of it and like had a bunch of activities and crazy stuff. So I was on a YouTube video watching
Rabbit Hole
and ended up going to an Area 51 video, and then that led to videos they recently released of some UFO stuff from the government level, from like the military, I think. So it just kind of brought all of this to mind of, do you think aliens are real? Are we alone in this world? I don't know.
I mean, are you asking me first?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely, they're real. I mean, how can we be the only ones in the entire universe?
That would be pretty selfish to think that we're it.
Yeah.
There are millions of like planets and stars, and like there's so much more.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the government knows so much, and they're just not telling us, which is probably good. I don't think we need to know. I mean, I don't know. I want to know, but people would freak the heck out.
Yeah.
I mean, people would be freaking out if there was other people. I'm like, but how can you not? No, do I think they look like the old, the green head? No, I don't think they look like that. I mean, there could be another world just like this, and we, 100 million light years away, and they're just doing they're podcasting right now.
Maybe we're not the only Threads podcast out there.
Right. Well, there
universe.
is another Threads podcast.
They don't record though.
Yeah, it's actually about sewing.
Yeah, it's a sewing magazine.
Yeah, so if you Google Threads we should have looked. I blame Ben because it was his idea, but we should have Googled Threads podcast, because if you Google Threads podcast, we are way on the bottom of barely on the first page. But if you Google Threads podcast Life Unfiltered,
yes,
we're the entire page.
Yep.
So, anyways,
live and learn, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. Growing up, I was fascinated by aliens, and this is hilarious. But did you ever watch the show Gumby?
No, I didn't, but I know it's that little pink guy or something like that.
Green.
Oh, okay, green.
So there was an episode where there were like spaceships and UFOs flying overhead. I don't remember much about the episode, but it kind of gripped me and caught my attention and kind of spooked me a little bit. So anytime that I would be playing outside in the yard and I heard an airplane go over, in my 7-year-old mind, I would think, oh my gosh, I'm going to get abducted like Gumby did. And so I would run inside anytime an airplane flew over. But that's like my earliest memory of UFO stuff. And then I would watch shows like Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh, yeah.
Such a good show.
Very good. I'm sure that guy's dead, but I love that guy, that old guy. I can't remember his name.
I think they're streaming those on Hulu now.
Oh, are they?
But yeah.
Oh, that was a good show.
It was. Absolutely. So I've always been fascinated by this stuff and Bigfoot and everything else. And I think that, to put a little bit of a Christianese spin
Damn it,
on
Ben. Damn it.
God's too creative
I know.
for this to just be it.
I know.
Like, I'm sure God created other things and other planets and other life forms. And I think that's awesome.
Do you know there's people out there that think this is a virtual world?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're in this virtual, like this is all like a computer program.
Yeah, yep.
And I'm like, whatever. You are tripping
That's
on
a little
mushrooms.
odd.
I mean, I guess I can't prove it otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to digress about an airplane dream I had last night. You brought that up.
Airplane dream.
So I should have brought this up in my weekly update or whatever the hell it is. We went and saw Nolte. He's down in Kalamazoo. He got a job, full-time job, working at a hangar there. And so we went and saw his place and took him to dinner or whatever. But he got to bring us inside. And inside are these massive corporate jets that they do all the maintenance on. And we got to go inside them. We had to take our shoes off.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's like, you need to take your shoes off. If they find any dirt in here, I'm in trouble. And there was, when we got there, one of the owners, he's a pilot too. He was like, oh, yeah, go in the planes. Just take your shoes off or whatever. So last night I'm dreaming and we're going down. We're in a plane, and it's so graphic. I can see the buildings and trees, and I woke up screaming. Like, we hit, and I was, like, thinking, am I going to burn? Is this going to be painful? And then I just woke up, and I was like, holy
what
crap.
Just happened?
I know. I
Did
know.
you wake Megan up?
No, but I woke up just like, and just looked there like this, and then I went back to sleep. But I just had to. It really proves that things that happen to your day is what your dreams are made of. Because, of course, we were at the hangar, so we saw all these airplanes and stuff. But, man, that is the cleanest place ever. All the floors are white.
What? Wow.
And one of the reasons, so if they drop a screw, they can see it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Nolte was working on every $100 they have to come in for an inspection. So he had one plane tore apart. It's like so weird seeing my 22-year-old like he's doing this. So it was kind of cool. So, next up in current events. So this has been pissing me off. So this is the EEE. I don't know.
Yeah, that is
Eastern Equine
encephalitis.
Encephalitis.
Just call it Triple E.
Triple E.
It canceled soccer.
Yes.
And all kinds of things.
Right, and I'm okay with all that. I guess what's been frustrating me, and even Megan was kind of victim of it. She's like, do you wear, mosquito repellent? I'm like, no, I don't run into mosquitoes when I'm out working. Well, I just want you to be safe. And I took a screenshot of an MLive article. I don't have it. I just realized I should have threw it on there. But about how low of a percentage the chances are you probably have a better chance not waking up in the morning than getting this, but it's still a concern.
Sure.
And what's happening, what's made me really frustrated is people post an article and it says Kent County, right? But no one reads the article. Everyone's freaking out. Like, I'm in this Granville group and everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. I'm like, yo, they're not even spraying in Granville. They're spraying in the northern Kent County. There's only certain areas, but no one
Northview's in it, though.
Nuh-uh.
Pretty sure.
Nope.
Okay.
Show me where it says that.
They were going to, but then they canceled it.
Okay, I'm looking at this map. That's not the entire map.
That's Kalamazoo County.
In that
article.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Maybe I don't know where.
Did you read the?
No, this is a different one. Hold on. I'm looking at it now. Okay. Look at the screen. So you are right here. Spray here, and spray here.
Aerial, but they're doing other spray.
With what?
I don't know.
No, they're not.
Okay.
I mean, okay, maybe I'm wrong. I didn't know they were doing other spray. I just was saying the aerial, because that's what everyone's freaking out about. Mm-hmm. I'd be interested to know what other spray they are doing.
Like they were going to do some in Plainfield Township.
Like how?
I don't know.
Well, don't say it without knowing.
Well, I'm just passing on what I heard.
Yeah, that's the problem. No one reads anything. See, I did read it. It's the aerial spraying is not happening. Anyways, they canceled it all because of the rain.
Yeah. So it's like we got all freaked out about what? Nothing.
Yeah. Sorry, we're like going down a rabbit hole.
That's all right. We do that from time to time.
So it looks like a lot of it south. I mean, the entire county of Kalamazoo looks like it's going to get hit. But I guess what I was fussy about is, especially in the Granville group, they just definitely didn't even read the article. And it's shitty for bees.
Yeah.
Because it's a blanket application. Now, it will be at night, but I don't know. Everyone just needs to calm down.
I guess I didn't realize it was only a couple of areas.
Right.
But I swear somebody was saying something about Plainfield Township.
Right. And maybe someone did what they did in the Granville. Like, there was like 15 things like, how dare they? We have to opt out. I'm like, yo, it's not even happening in Granville. Right? You don't have to worry about it. It just, and I am guilty of it too, is not reading the articles sometimes.
Yeah.
But, it's funny, the Merus 3.0 organic pesticide, which is kind of hilarious that says organic pesticide. Yeah. Those two words don't go together, which contains 5% pyrethrin. We actually use that for our stuff, but we don't fog it. It's directed to like the house and stuff. But anyways, I think it's good. I think administrators are freaking out because they don't want to be liable, right? What if one of their kids gets it? Right. I mean, there's a $2 million lawsuit.
Seriously.
But I think regardless, I guess they got to do what they got to do. Just annoys me. So
yeah, I just found this article on the School News Network. Some districts reschedule activities after Tripoli found in Kent County. We are one of those. The soccer program that I coordinate, we were given a mandate to wrap up practice and get everybody off the field by 7.
Yeah, my neighbor across the street, they pretty much have canceled everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they moved up Granville's football game to 4:30. Ended up getting canceled for rain, but I mean, I appreciate them doing that. I think everyone needs just to calm down.
Yeah. Well, it does say that it reportedly sickened 8 people in Kent County, 3 of whom died in 6 southwest, not Kent County, sorry.
Yeah.
3 of whom died in 6 southwest Michigan counties.
Right. And what they found was a dead deer that had it.
Yep.
In Kent County. So,
yeah.
Again, appreciate everything they're doing, but I mean,
let's be a little bit more based in reality.
Let's base in reality and let's read stuff a little bit.
Yes.
And look at statistics.
And that goes for everything.
Everything. This is just not specific.
Stop reading headlines.
But when I get drawn into something, and again, Facebook draws you into the negative, and I got drawn into this, I'm like, okay, I'm done with my life at this point. I mean, you guys are stupid. So
yeah. Oh, yes. All right. Next one that I had. This is really interesting, and I'd be curious to know your feedback. So, my wife works for a religious organization. I mean, not for much longer. She's wrapping up her time there and starting a new job. But she works for a faith-based adoption agency. And a federal judge in Michigan has just ruled that faith-based adoption agencies are able to discriminate and choose not to place children with gay parents.
Mm-hmm.
So in the past, they had to. Like, there was a law that was passed that says you must do this. Now there's a law that's essentially saying they can say no. So let's see. I'm trying to get the timeline here.
I still gotta pee.
Pause.
Go. I gotta.
Hurry back. Well, folks, this is a break. Apparently Jason needs to go to the bathroom. So if you're watching this, we'll be right back. Kind of awkward, but light goes on. This is too great. I'm at a loss. I don't even know what to talk about.
I'm like, come on, you can't carry it. God, I gotta do everything. Do I have to bring a microphone up to the toilet?
Yes, you should.
So anyways, do you want me to...
So,
I knew I wouldn't make it. That's why I went to the bathroom. I'm like, it's not going to happen. I see what we got left. I'm not going to make it. So what's your opinion about this?
You know, I don't think the government should get involved. And I say that about a lot of things. If a nonprofit wants to, because of their faith reasons, they don't want to place kids with gay parents, fine. But don't take the government's money if you're going to do that.
Yes. So that's where I kind of draw the line. When a business decides to not serve whatever, that's their right to do that. Do I think they're jerks? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I absolutely do. But if you're getting money from the government, then it kind of...
That muddies the water.
It muddies the water.
So I kind of feel like...
I know you got to be careful. Like, you don't want to piss anyone off, but
it's true.
You just say what you feel.
I feel that gays should have the ability to foster and adopt children, just like straight couples should, or just like single parents should.
Yeah, I do too. But what do you feel about the?
I see both sides. I feel like there are a pretty large segment of Christians, especially in West Michigan, that believe that lifestyle is wrong.
Right.
And we can go back and forth on that all night long and not get anywhere, but there are a collection of people that believe that, and those people also are very committed and passionate about adoption and foster care. So I feel like on the one side, it's important to hear them out, and if they're feeling this passionate about it, to allow them that ability to, to limit who they place kids with. But on the other hand, you're taking government money, so that does muddy the water. The government doesn't have a religious bias. The government sees equal opportunity. It's written into our state and federal laws now.
Yeah.
These people have rights to marry.
Yeah.
And so then, therefore, they should not be discriminated against. So I see both sides. I see the value in allowing organizations to set that precedent for themselves. if you're going to do that, then don't take government funds.
So are you? I'm briefly scanning the article, but do faith-based organizations get money from the government?
They do.
Okay.
Yep. I know for a fact that they do. Now, not all of them do. Some can say no, but in order to be a placing agency, you have to have some form of government relationship to even have that opportunity to place these kids.
Well, you can have a relationship, but if you're actually getting money from the government, then it's kind of like...
Well, I think in Michigan, the government outsources all of that stuff, like the placing of children.
Okay.
They outsource it to these nonprofit organizations, and there are some that are faith-based, and that's where it gets a little sticky. So these faith-based organizations that place kids, they're doing the government's work, but then they're adding an extra layer to it saying, we're not going to place these kids with gay couples. So it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
It's not like you couldn't just go to some nonprofit and say, hey, I don't want my kid anymore, so find a home for them. Like, that has to go through the government level. So the government, whether it's CPS or if parents voluntarily surrender their rights, whatever the case, that's all happening at the government level.
And that's fine, but when money's exchanged, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such crap. But I'm sure it'll get overturned. It's just like how it went back and forth.
Yeah.
But I do respect a business, and especially a faith-based business, if they don't get any money from the government. That's my only caveat.
Yes.
They can say what they want. I respect that right of having their, not business, but nonprofit say, this is not what it's like Todd Chance. He doesn't have moms at the events.
Yep.
That's his right to do that. It's his organization. So, why wouldn't, I don't know. And on the other end, it's like, why would you refuse that? I understand that's your thing, but if they're going to take care of a kid, giving them a loving home, just shut up.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
All right, let's move on from that.
What did Tim say?
What
happened?
So, he probably caught up with the potty break.
Yes, Megan, I hear you. I'm not a huge fan either. I see why they want to go down that road, but it's just a slippery slope. So we'll move on to the next one, though. We could spend all day on that.
Yeah, but this one's kind of a slippery slope, too. So bottom line, we're talking about a police officer broke into a home, shot this guy in the back of the head or something in a wrong door raid. So
a police officer's not even in the right unit.
Correct. So, but the guy he killed was a undocumented immigrant, and okay. So the city of South Haven is saying that he had no constitutional rights because he was undocumented. Because the Lopez family is going over seeking $20 million in damages, but the Supreme Court has ruled multiple times that a person on U.S. soil, no matter their immigration status, is protected by the Constitution. So my discussion point is this: do you think it's right for someone that's undocumented to be protected by the Constitution?
I think it is.
I don't think so. You came into this country illegally. You're not protected. How do you get to earn all these rights? For what? Because you snuck into the country illegally, so we're supposed to give you these constitutional rights? Mind you, they shouldn't have shot. Well, apparently they said he had a gun. I'm
sure there's a lot of
huge
nuances.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go over that. But my whole point of it was the ad I just got. It says 2019 sexiest bikinis, and this girl barely wearing a top. And I'm like scrolling down. I'm like, what?
Whoa.
I'm like, what the hell? Sorry about that.
I have an Olive Garden ad.
On the same article?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. But I don't know. Obviously, if the Supreme Court has ruled that, then he's going to the lawsuit's they're probably going to win. But and it's not that I'm against immigrants. I'm happy for people to come, especially when they're living in these terrible conditions. But the guy had a criminal record too. I mean, he had felony charges against him. You know, he drunk driving. It was, and again, he didn't need. I'm not saying he had the right to die. Like, don't get me wrong, y'all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the guy was, you know, a criminal. I don't think you get rights. I mean, if you could convicted of a felony, use the right to have a firearm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're losing.
Maybe not the right of the Constitution. I just feel like as humanity, like, I think he was failed. Like, this should have never happened. But for his family to try to collect $20 million from it, it's creating a fight that doesn't need to happen. It's almost like they're fighting in the wrong way. Like, I don't know.
Well, they want their payday. The cops screwed up.
But I think it's just so messed up.
Right, exactly. That's why I read this one. I'm like, yeah, and that's my personal opinion. I'm a big Constitution guy, and clearly the government or the courts have ruled that, you know, you do have a constitutional right. But I did not know that. This is like a first I knew.
Yeah.
Someone writes, every human being on American soil has constitutional rights. It's very clear in the Constitution where they say we the people. They don't say residents or citizens. They say people. Okay. Well, that was written in 1776 too. So the U.S. Supreme Court has made it clear that any individual on American soil, regardless of how they entered America, has constitutional rights. So
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think, you know, I don't think you should be beat. Like, let's take a different example. Let's say he didn't die. Like, it doesn't give the cops the right to beat the shit out of him because he's undocumented.
Yeah.
But I also think that, I don't know, it's so messy.
It is. I feel like they have rights to be mad and upset and frustrated and maybe pursue legal action in this. I don't know. But I don't feel like it's so hard because if this was somebody who was following the established system for becoming a resident of the United States, I think that would be a little bit different.
Yeah, well, he's not. Then he would have a visa.
Yeah,
and he's working towards his citizenship.
He's just here, and he's already taken advantage of the law, broken the law.
Right.
And does it suck that this happened? Yeah, of course.
And it should not happen to anyone. It's not the fact that it's just the fact that they're like, oh, we're going to sue the cops for $20 million. Yeah. It's like, well, listen, this guy was a piece of crap anyways. Did not deserve, again, I want people to hear, did not deserve no one deserves that.
No, nobody deserves.
I mean, if you pointed a gun at the cops, then you're going to die.
Right, but you're in the wrong apartment.
Yeah.
So I think the police did violate, maybe not his constitutional right, but his human right, his right to live.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, can you claim damages for that? Probably not.
We'll have to see. I don't know. Maybe it'll pop up again. It's not like I'm going to follow it, but all right, we're going to jump into some toilet fun.
I found several articles.
And I found a funny video. It's like 10 seconds.
Oh, man. So, speaking of full transparency, we have bidets at our house, in the Crocker house, and when guests come over and they don't know what they are, they see a little knob next to the toilet, so they turn it, and then a stream of water shoots out.
Definitely did it, or Sully did it when we were at your house. I was like, son of a bitch, what's going on in here? That's got to be a poll question.
Yes, it should be. So, I had a season of significant illness with my intestines, and so
did you have some loose poo-poo?
Yeah, you could say that. And bloody.
Oh gosh. Oh,
we're totally unfiltered tonight.
Good Lord.
So anyway, because of that time period, I, being the researcher, fixer, Googler that I am, I tried to find solutions so that if this ever happened again, I'd be prepared. And thankfully it never did happen, but we did find a solution, and that is the bidet. It sprays you in that general area, and I feel like it's a green initiative in our house because we use far less toilet paper.
Right.
So anyway, I found a couple of articles that coincidentally deal with high-tech toilets and bidets and all that fun stuff. So apparently in Japan, they were having a worldwide rugby competition, the Rugby World Cup. And in Japan, bidets are all the rage. Like, it's a pretty standard thing.
I think overseas they're pretty common.
They are.
I mean, in a first world situation.
Yes, exactly. So, bidets are kind of becoming the norm in Japan, and they're pretty normal in European countries as well. So all these people that are showing up for the Rugby World Cup are having the opportunity to use these super high-tech toilets, and people are now realizing, these bidets, these are kind of nice. And the whole story is just chatter about how people went to see the games, and now they're coming back from Japan wanting bidets. But there are some that are too sophisticated. This gentleman says, a bit too sophisticated for me. I just like the simple one, push the button without all the other experiences. I think when you first encounter them, it's a bit intimidating, but we've been to Japan many times now, so we're used to them. Japan leads the way in toilets technology. Apparently, hygiene is very important in Japan.
People wash their bodies before entering a bath
and taking off their shoes. Yeah, that's something. So some of the bidets, they start at $232. I did not spend that much for mine. You can get them on Amazon. And then there are some that go to almost $10,000 for a tush washer. But like, they have heated seats, and you can play music on some of them. And
oh yeah. So my question to you is, when yours cleans, is it warm water?
No, it's just the water from the toilet.
Oh, so it's ice cold?
Not really. It's like room temperature.
Okay.
It's life changing.
Could you buy one on Amazon that has warm water?
Yes.
But here's the thing: the warm water has to warm up once you turn the it's not. I wonder if it has instant warm water. I bet it does.
It's like whatever you have from. It's two lines. So
yeah,
there's a warm water and then a cold water.
Right. But there's things you can buy. If let's say it takes forever for your hot water to come, there's things you can buy that will make it, that you can put underneath that your sink that will make it hot right away, or warm or whatever.
Huh.
But
so that was one bidet article that I found. And then I was just on that same page, again, going down a rabbit hole on Reuters. Reuters has this whole section of weird news.
Oh, do they?
I clicked one link and it led to another, and I was having fun with it. So apparently in Britain's Blenheim Palace, I have no idea where that is, there was once a fully operational gold toilet.
18 karat.
Yes, worth $5 million. Guess what the toilet was named? Did you read that far?
No.
It was named America.
Oh.
It was previously on display in a cubicle at New York's Guggenheim Museum, where more than 100,000 visitors were able to use it. Ooh. Thieves with at least two vehicles broke into the palace, the birthplace of World War II leader Winston Churchill, and removed the toilet sometime before 5 a.m. Due to the toilet being plumbed into the building, this has caused significant damage and flooding, Detective Inspector Jesse Milne added in a public statement. Police said they had arrested one 66-year-old man in connection with the theft, but had not recovered the artwork.
The artwork.
I've never heard of a toilet referred to as artwork, but there you go.
Well, it's only worth it because it's
solid gold.
Yeah. There was a video playing, and while I was watching it, there was people standing in line to use the toilet.
So last year, while the toilet was at the Guggenheim Museum, the Washington Post reported that President Donald Trump turned down an offer from the museum to temporarily install the toilet for his personal use in the White House.
Let him buy his own.
Right? He's got the money.
Jeez.
So, yeah. Wow.
And then the last one is a little video, and it reminded me of Ben. I can see Ben doing this, so I got this up here. So it's no sound, but it's just some kid in why didn't it play? Oh, I forgot to put Hold on, y'all. I forgot to put. All right, there we go. It's some kid like in a park, and the water's shooting right up his butt. I mean, he's not nude, but
in a splash pad.
Yeah, I'll play it again. Oh, that's funny. Should have put it on loop. Yeah, boy, get that butt clean. And the reporters are cracking up.
That's hilarious. So, yes, it's pretty life-changing. I think it's been probably 4 years since we installed them.
Okay, so tell me the process. You're all done with your business. You hit the button.
Well, you turn a knob on the one we have.
Okay.
And it just shoots a jet. You just adjust your body so that it hits the right spot. And you kind of, you don't quite do the dance move that kid did, but you kind of move around a little bit. Kind of wiggle on the seat, get every area clean, you know.
So have you ever had it hit the boys?
It happens, but
it doesn't hurt when it hits the boy?
No, you learn to position yourself.
Oh, man.
Maybe the first time it hit the boys, but you know.
I'm intrigued.
So, yeah, you just kind of do a little wiggle, wiggle, scoot, scoot, and then you grab some toilet paper to dry yourself off with, and then you flush it down the toilet, and you're done.
Okay. So I might have to look into that. No, I won't. Although I'm sure it's more sanitary.
It is.
Oh, 100%.
Because you're actually cleaning an area versus rubbing it with paper.
Right. And I mean, you're cleaning it. Not really. I mean, you're not using soap.
No, but I mean, it's water and
then you still got to wipe it down.
Yeah.
So you're still using toilet paper, just not as much.
Yeah.
Okay. So next up, we're almost wrapping up current events. So this guy was basically a fan of Iowa football, and he made a sign that he wanted a case of beer. And I'm sure you've heard this before. He put his sign up with his Venmo, and people started sending money. Well, everyone started getting involved, and basically ended up, Bush Beer and Venmo, like massive donations. So it ended up being almost like $500,000.
That's crazy.
Which was so cool. He decided to donate it other than the cost of a case of Bush beer. So
of all beers you could buy.
I know, well,
whatever.
Cheap college kid.
Yeah.
So the bummer part of it is, and I'm really involved when I listen to a lot of comedians, and this is the new thing that they talk about. It's cancel culture.
Yes.
So it happened to a guy that just got a job for Saturday Night Live. He never even was on at one time, but a tweet or his was a racist comment about Asian people way back in the day. This guy, same thing that happened. He was 16 years old.
16 years old.
And now I couldn't find the joke. He made a racist joke, and all of a sudden Bush Beer's like, we've cut our ties with him, and now he's getting dragged through the mud because that's 10 years ago when he was 16 and a dumbass, he made a racist joke. And it's just frustrating. I mean, yes, they're still going to donate all the money, so the Children's Hospital still wins on that. But it's just like, come on, people. Like, you got to look at the whole totality of the situation.
Well, did you hear the reporter that dug up that information?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He was fired
because
he had a racist tweet too.
Don't you think if you found this, you would go back into your tweets and delete anything?
Right.
And this is such a good lesson for anyone listening, and most of our audience is our age, but my gosh, be careful what you put on the internet.
No kidding. Going back to my personal update story, like it all happened because she put that out for all the world to see.
Right. So
you just can't have that when you've got parents looking at that, and
yeah,
it's no bueno.
But it is happening a lot, the cancel culture of like I don't know. I wish people would be like, yeah, I did that 10 years ago. F off, okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I deleted it. We're moving on.
Yeah.
If you're going to fire me over that, you're a jerk. Like
seriously.
But
they're looking for something.
Yeah. But I think I forgot that twist in that story of that reporter getting fired too.
That's karma.
Yeah, shame on you. And they actually had a conversation if they should bring it up or not. And the guy admitted it. Well, what happened was I think he went to the press before they posted the article and said, hey, I have this. But I'm so tired of that crap.
For sure.
I don't know. Do you have anything out there that you might be like,
No.
I don't think I do. I don't think I do.
I mean, if you wanted to go way back and open up the Wayback Machine, I don't even know if I want to say this, but I did for a period of time have my own website. It was bencrocker.com.
Is it still alive?
No.
Oh,
it's not alive anymore. You'd have to go on the Wayback Machine to look at it.
Oh.
And I pull it up every now and then, and I just kind of shake my head. I'm like, I was such a dork.
What's the Wayback Machine?
It's an archive of all the internet, basically. So if there's a website that doesn't exist anymore, or if something changed on a website and you want to go back and see it,
And the public can do that?
Mm-hmm. It's called the Wayback Machine.
Oh.
So, because again, anything you put on the internet, it's being archived. So,
And that makes sense. Huh, I didn't know that.
So you can look up bencrocker.com on the Wayback Machine, and I'll just sit back and be embarrassed as you poke through all of that. There's nothing inappropriate. It's just, I don't know.
Dumb stuff.
I thought of myself a little bit more highly than I should have. I wasn't always based in reality.
That's funny. All right, let's do this last one. And
We don't have to do all these questions.
well, no. We got one more current event.
Sorry, my bad. This massage style in Egypt. Oof. I don't know if I would do this. So, in Egypt, there is a masseur. I thought it was masseuse, but anyway. Plays with fire to relieve his client's muscle pain at his spa in the Nile Delta governorate of Garbaya. So essentially, there's pictures and a video too. I think he let's see. I think he places towels or candles or oils and essentially lights them on fire and puts them on people's back. Like a burning towel.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of it, but it doesn't show a towel. It looks like little teepees.
Something, yeah. So that one is the teepees, but then there's a video where...
Yeah, I can't play videos on this computer because it will...
Oh, yeah.
It'll play through the...
That's right.
That's one bad thing about using this.
But the whole point is to, relieve muscle tension and something about the fire melting it. I don't know if I would trust that. That just sounds
Yeah, I mean it would
dangerous.
never get approved in the United States.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the cupping, although people say that it's kind of just have you heard of cupping?
Like the suction cups?
Yeah, they when I went to an acupuncturist for a while, she would do that and she'd light a lighter to suck all the oxygen out and then quick put it on my skin and it would suck it up. Apparently that was no, I wouldn't do this either.
No, it looks a little too risky. Although I've done ear candles before.
I heard those don't work either.
I don't think they did. They probably just contributed to my issues.
Yeah. You probably got candle wax in there. Oh, don't get me started on earwax. Sully has these incredibly small ear canals, and we've had to take him to an ear, nose, and throat, and it's just... They get so much out, and he just screams. Because take an autistic kid that's with sensitivity to touch and stuff, and then try to digging out with a tool. Oh gosh, Megan said it was horrible. So,
oh man.
All right, so we are 1 hour and 27 minutes in. So,
do you want to just skip this whole last part, or just do a couple? I just thought some of the questions were hilarious.
Let's each pick one. Do we ask each other?
All right.
You can ask me first.
If you could call up anyone in the world and have a 1 hour conversation, who would you call?
Adolf Hitler.
What?
Yep.
Seriously?
Yeah, I want to know why he's so crazy. What his thought process is.
Would you be ready to handle his answer?
Yeah, because, I mean, if it's just me and, he's sitting across from me, I got 1 hour, and then it's whoosh, he's not going to do anything. He's not, I don't know. I just would be curious.
I like how quickly you came up with that. There was no thought. It was just Adolf Hitler.
I thought about it because he's a psycho, and I just want to see who this man was. Because let's face it, okay, a childhood hero. Are you really going to get anything out of him for I don't know. That's just how I would want to be I would want to sit down with a killer or this just to see why, try to figure you out. So I like to figure people out. So
interesting.
I mean, you might as well respond on that one while I look for your question. Who would you want to be?
Who would I want to call?
Yeah.
Is it living or dead?
It doesn't matter.
I would.
Sorry.
I would call my grandpa. Just because
Really?
I miss him. He was such a rock in my life. He fought in World War II, and he was kind of closed off to people when he got back. But for whatever reason, he kind of took to me, and we just had a really positive relationship. So I would love to just call him and just talk like we always used to.
That would be tough, though, because then you got this connection with him, so then you get to talk for an hour, and then it's gone.
At least I had it, though, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. That would be tough.
But that was very challenging when he passed away.
How old were you?
I was in 8th grade. I was about my son's age. So none of my cousins and none of my siblings really got to know my grandpa to the level that I did. And so when he passed away, they kind of got over it pretty quickly just because they didn't have a real solid relationship with him. But for whatever reason, it was probably because we lived next door and I made time to just go see him, and he would help with my math homework. He was just a solid guy. We just had a bond and a relationship. We kind of just understood each other more than my siblings and cousins did. So when he passed away, they're all kind of just moving on, but I was really upset by it. So.
Okay. Mine for you, you find a remote that you can rewind, fast forward, stop, and start time. What do you do with it?
I would fast forward through the part of my life where we took in those 3 foster kids. I would just fast forward and make it go as quick as it could because I don't want to relive that.
Well, it's not about reliving it. It's
I would want to speed it up because it was just that awful.
Okay.
Like, make it go faster if I had to do over again.
You could stop time.
I would stop time probably when I'm just out. You know, the time that comes to mind was when my wife and I we didn't have kids, and it was just us two, and we took a 1-year anniversary trip to the Oregon coast, and it was incredible. Like, just looking out at the ocean, just walking. I think we actually, I don't know if we hitchhiked or if somebody offered us a ride back to camp, but I'm remembering that and just the campsite, and I just wish I could pause time and just stay there because it was just such a great time with my wife. So
cool.
If I could rewind, I would definitely rewind and kind of relive the time with my grandpa because he's just such a solid guy.
Okay.
So yeah, what would you do with it?
I mean, for me, I've been struggling a little bit with death. I'm getting older. I mean, I know I'm only 43, but I mean, I'm just looking to the future and just say, man, there's just not a ton of time left. So I would stop time.
Sure there is. You probably got another 40 years ahead of you.
Maybe.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know.
You're a healthy guy.
Yeah, right. As I go eat wings when I get done here. No, we decided not to get wings tonight. So.
Oh,
but no, I would love to stop time, and I like my kids this age. It's a fun age. You know, you get to do stuff with them. You don't have to change diapers.
Right.
They can play outside on their own. So I haven't really thought about the other ones, but fast forward probably through the childhood.
Yeah.
I mean,
your childhood for sure.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Kind of rewind. I don't know. Like I would love to rewind all our wedding. I wish I could do that again because it went so fast and it was such a great party. Man, it was so fun.
We had a dry wedding.
Oh my gosh, so lame. I would not want to go to your wedding.
Yeah, probably not.
And
then we were one of those couples that we did our pictures after the ceremony, like between the ceremony and the reception.
A lot of people do that.
So because we didn't want to see each other before the ceremony. So that just meant that our guest had to wait for a while at the reception site.
It's pretty common to do that. We did it too.
Yeah.
I mean, we took some before, but, you know. So, gosh, we had such a great time. It was such a good party. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, one other thing, of course, you can find us on Facebook, as you know, and Twitter and Instagram. Ben's been doing a pretty good job engaging you guys.
Well, thank you.
I hope you like that. I definitely just did do a poll while we were talking about it. If you have a bidet in your home, so that's live right now. So we'll jump into our unfiltered finale. Basically, it's just about a new connection formed, and so mine was Megan from Irvine's Auto.
Who's been listening tonight, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and she's been listening since we did our ad campaign initially, I think, on Zane's show, Eric's show. But we're now working with her. She's become a sponsor of our other podcast, and it's just been kind of cool. She seems like real level-headed and runs that shop real good, and so we've been messaging back and forth. And yeah, it's just just another friendship, and hopefully the sponsorship continues. Yeah. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. But yeah, she really is involved in Zane's podcast, and man, he says some funny things about her. So it's just kind of cool how we've all kind of, you know, their company Irvine's Auto sponsored Zane's, and then I started, listening about them and her, and then I was like, well, let's reach out and see if they're interested in sponsoring our podcast on GR Rideshare, and so yeah, it's just been kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Nothing huge, but it's been. I think it will blossom into something, more, whether it be business or friends or whatever.
Yeah. So. For me, it also has a rideshare thread as well. See what I did there? Rideshare thread.
Beautiful.
Wow. Last night I drove for Uber. I drive for at least 3 to 4 hours. Like, it's not worth it to me to go less than that. But last night I just did 2 hours, and they were good rides. Like, I ended up making pretty decent money.
Did you go out at 10 like you said you were gonna?
I started at 10 and I was done by like midnight.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's such a waste. I don't know. I would not want to do that.
I dropped some people off on Alpine, and then I was like, I'm one exit away from my house.
You're just not feeling it.
So I said I'll leave the app on, and if I get a ride request, I'll take it. But if I don't, I don't. I'm just going to go home. So I made it from Alpine all the way to Plainfield. No ping. Got off the freeway, drove to my house, no ping.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm done. But the rides I did have were just fantastic people. I edited my bio, and I put soccer dad in there just because it's one of the hats I'm wearing. And people actually read my bio. Two passengers were like, yeah, I noticed on your profile that you list yourself as a soccer dad. You got a nice soccer dad vehicle here. And,
really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And one of them, her kid plays for Rockford and their youth program, so our teams play each other. And then the other person that I drove was the coach from the varsity team at East Grand Rapids, and we're talking about how these rec programs, they really are such an asset to the community and an asset to the high school program, because we're essentially a feeder system. We're developing kids when they're young, and then they fall in love with the sport of soccer, and then they play in high school. And I think you can really gauge the health of a sports program by the rec programs in the community. And we have the highest level of participation as far as sports go in Northview. It's soccer, and we have so many kids that play. So Northview has been known for having a good soccer team, and I think it really comes down to the fact that we've got this program in place that kind of feeds into it. So, but yeah, just to have two people that actually read my bio, like, I didn't think people even read those things.
Yeah.
So,
and to have it happen twice
in one 2 hour period.
I wonder if Uber highlights it like in the rider app if you change it or something, because that seems odd. That it was
very odd,
especially with the limited amount of time that you were out there.
Yeah, it was only 2 hours, but one of them I drove from downtown all the way out to Ada.
Okay,
and then one ride was from downtown to downtown, so it was a short little run.
Okay.
But
yeah, I didn't drive this weekend, and next weekend we're going up north to kind of close up the cabin. So it's going to be like 3 weeks before I'm out there. So I've been Jones
withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah. It definitely is good to get out there and hang with you guys and all the other people that are in the group. So
yeah.
Well, thanks guys so much. We really appreciate it. This was good to sit down with Ben. Again, reviews, that would be great. And one other thing. Are you interested in going to, so I know you don't listen to Eric's podcast, which is fine, but apparently, and he hasn't reached out to me or us yet because we're still a sponsor, a small sponsor, but we still do it. November 6th, they're doing a chili cook-off, and apparently the sponsors are supposed to judge shit.
Oh.
I don't know if you're interested in that.
Sounds kind of fun.
It's on like November.
As long as there's some non-spicy chili options.
Right. Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have Megan make her white chili chicken. So it's a white chili. There's a winner for a white chili and then the regular chili.
Okay.
I think it's the Monday before Election Day.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. So just something to throw out there. We might be there.
Awesome.
Threads podcast. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. And you have a fantastic whatever. See how I didn't put a timestamp on that?
That was amazing.
All right.
Look at that.